Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining me. Today, we are going to talk about customer success in Latin America. And I have the perfect guest, Hiram Damin, who is actually from Brazil, to talk about the state of customer success in Brazil and in general, his perspectives. The reason he's such a great guest for us is because he's not only consulted with hundreds of companies, he's also wrote the Manual Do Customer Success book. I'm going to add the links to the book in the YouTube description so you can all buy it and read it, hopefully. And then you can check more about his practices and things that he does for the community on his website. And I'm going to add the link to that as well. So Hiram, it is great, distinguished pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, absolutely excited. And for those who don't know, besides all of these accomplishments, he's also won the top 100 customer success strategies in both 2020 and 2021. So that's a great distinction and recognition. I'm excited to double click on what's going on in Latin America and customer success so that all of us can better understand that region, whether we serve it as customer success managers or we work in that region as well. Hiram, thank you so much for taking the time. You live in Latin America.
Yes. I live here, specifically in south of Brazil, Florianópolis.
Oh, that sounds exotic. And your family is also from an exotic place, like in Europe.
My family came from Italy after the Second War. Today we live in Rio Grande do Sul. Part of my family live here in Florianópolis. We call the Silicon Island because we have hundreds of startups here in the city. We have more than 100 SaaS companies just in our state.
So the state or the Brazil is actually investing to ensure the software industry is being developed, meaning new startups actually getting grants from the country?
Yes, there is a great investment. When you talk about Latin America, SaaS, especially the customer success, I see the Latin American market growing fast. In our country, the SaaS investments was 15.7 billion last year. We have in Chile and Colombia with high investments in technology too and investments in startups and SaaS economy.
Are most of these software companies create software specifically for the local market? Meaning, is there a need for the local market to have software in their regional language?
Yes, here in Brazil, we work in Portuguese, but this technology export for the world in English versions, I think it's something here is growing and growing fast, especially in Brazil.
When did you start seeing customer success as a function in those software companies that are in Latin America or specifically in your region?
I guess it started like 80 years ago. When it started in the US, a lot of Brazilians brings this just methodology, but I think it's a way to think, to grow, to increase. And this methodology started to growing fast, I think, 5 years ago. I started with customer success 7 years ago. I saw this growing up and getting stronger and more companies using the customer success methodology here in Brazil.
If you're thinking about customer success in Brazil 8 years ago versus now, what do you see the difference is in the maturity level of incorporating customer success in software companies? Does it look different now?
Yeah, it's look really different because we have more maturity in the companies. Hundreds and hundreds of companies using CS methodology, learning and growing faster and bring more customers and increaser and these companies with the CX and CS methodology.
You know, one of the things that I noticed is that Brazil was one of the top producing thought leaders in customer success in 2021. Do you think that that's a surprise?
No, I think the result of our working, we are working hard here in Brazil because there are too many companies using the CS methodology. And when I said growing and competition about all over the companies, it's huge. So we increase our companies with the CS workers or CS jobs and CS managers and leaders.
So in other words, I think what you're saying is that you find that a lot of software companies find customer success as a valid differentiator for them?
Yes, absolutely.
So how do you see the main points in customer success in Brazil? Do you think customer success managers in Brazil have something a little different than maybe customer success worldwide because of the type of customers or the culture in Brazil? That if somebody is a CSM in the US that needs to work with Brazilian customers should be aware of?
I think this methodology is the same. We do the onboarding, the ongoing, revenue, upsell, cross-sell, downsell, our OKRs, KPIs, I think are the same. We have a culture, the Brazilian like to talk, the Brazilian like to speak a lot. I think need more attention than the American or for another kinds of country. But the methodology, I think, is the same. So when you are working with the worldwide, we just speak in English and we can talk for everyone and get the success for everyone, like the same methodology in the US, so yes.
In terms of the technology stack, meaning what kind of tools do companies in Brazil that invest when they have a customer success function? Is there a software that's more preferred in Brazil for customer success? Is there a customer success software that's in Portuguese that has localized? If you liked what you've heard so far, that's awesome. More coming in a second here, but in the meantime, I want you to click that like button so that YouTube knows that this is great content and you can start sharing it with others.
In Portuguese, you have the Customer X and we have the Customer X and sales data. There is an interesting information about around the world. Just 5% in the companies work with customer success using a tool really for customer success.
So most companies in Brazil, what do they prefer as the tool of choice for their customer success managers?
Many companies here started with Excel. Put your strategy there and just made all manual, just using formulas and just started this. After and grow, will understand that, oh, there are so many customers, I can do this manual. They think about, sometimes I'm working with a CRM.
So it almost sounds like most of the software companies in Brazil that have a customer success manager are a Microsoft shop and they're using Excel to manage customer success.
Yes.
And then most of them, what kind of CRM solution are they using? Is it Salesforce or HubSpot?
Yes, Salesforce.
Salesforce is fairly easy to customize for initial customer success needs. It doesn't have a lot of the digital touch enablement or, doing data-driven, proactive action items for the CSM, but depends on how many customers I have. And do they even leverage usage data in Brazil for customer success managers? Are they using tools like maybe Pendo or Mixpanel to see usage data?
Depends the company. Some companies are really data driven and work hard using like a HubSpot or Google tools for this.
Do you find that companies in Brazil have a tendency to do mostly high touch because of that personal connection that's so important? Or do they also invest a lot in tech touch and digital engagements?
I think today in Brazil, the tech touch is still a challenger for us. We have here Spotify, Netflix, Amazon videos, or it's a tech touch methodology. For us, there's no problem. But the self-service for us sometimes is still a problem. We like to talk, we like to this kind of eye-to-eye and listen and need help to take your hand and just doing here. I think it's a kind of our culture.
That's great. I'm not surprised, but I think it's important, first of all, for companies that want to work with Brazilian companies to take note of that doing a very low touch or digital touch might not work for a company in Brazil because they're so used to having high touch and they value the personal connection with their vendors or, inside the partnership. They're doing people first type of businesses.
Yes, we are really people first.
Would you say that most customer success managers in Brazil actually manage the renewal contract? Before we continue, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel and smash that notification button so that you don't miss out on any new videos.
Yes, doing everything, onboarding, ongoing, revenue, upselling, cross-selling. But we have companies that each function, it's CSM. So one or more teams for onboarding, and a team for ongoing, a team for revenue, and a team for churn.
Yeah, maybe because a lot of the companies, like you said, are startups. It makes sense that the customer success manager wears a lot of hats in Brazil.
Yes.
What are some of the resources, meaning communities, websites, books that somebody that lives in Brazil or Latin America can find online or otherwise if they wanted to get better in customer success and they wanted to do it in Portuguese versus in English?
We have a lot of content about customer success. We have huge companies every day talking about customer success, producing content, producing blog posts, ebooks. So let's talk about customer success. We have this page about Resultados Digitais. It's about a company, an R&D station. They started customer success in 2014. Everything about customer success, what it is, the principal metric is, and everything more.
Is this your favorite blog? Do you refer a lot of people to this blog?
Yes. I'm working on Resultados Digitais for 5 years. So I started my career in customer success here on Resultados Digitais. You can look for R&D station.
What does this company do?
Work with digital marketing automation. I like so much the Resultados Digitais, but we have more here. CS Academy. It's just a content for everything you want in customer success education. Customer success, concept, objectives, how can pay a CSM. So it's a great content. You can read a lot about customer success. We talk about here on Spotify. We have Reter e Crescer. Fran Gonçalves da Paula Fujimoto. It's a great content. For me, it's a great to listen. Every week we have a special guest talking about segmentation. We talk launch product, developer, product history, marketing for rotation, and everything subjects about customers. Yes, we have another. It's called Client Cast or Client Cast. It's talking about the feedbacks, talking about an operation, the market, job to be done, CX for product, and another subjects. It's really interesting. We have a manual of customer success.
It's a course. That's great.
Yes.
And is it a certification? Because I was going to ask you about a certification in customer success in Portuguese.
Yes, we have with the manual of customer success. It's online. The CS Academy too. We have certifications.
Thank you very much for taking the time to talk about customer success in Brazil. I thought it was really fascinating to kind of double click on what's going on right now in your country and why are we seeing so many thought leaders emerge from Brazil. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, click the like button, share it with others in Brazil or that are working with Brazilian companies. And if you have any other ideas or folks you'd like me to reach out to an interview because they're super interesting and have a lot of insights and impact on our community, put them in the description of this YouTube video below so I can invite them to become a guest. And as always, I'll see you at the next video.